Yes.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Narenji, for and the team for organizing this wonderful program. Many thanks to my earlier speakers, Binakshi ji, Shah Alam sir, Pradeep Khatri sir, Pianjali, for bringing in psychological aspects very well, and this had made my task even easier. Uh, Today I will be not taking much time to talk about what is already said about the pandemic and psychological aspects. Rather, I will bring your attention to an aspect which is relatively neglected and which might also be related with the focal theme of today's program, as well as it is related to the focal theme of today's UN Psychology Day, which is bridging the gaps. So I'll be mainly talking about the gaps which have come up due to this pandemic situation, and a few things in the later section of my talk about how we can help bridging these gaps. However, majority of these things are already spoken by my fellow colleagues in a different context. So we all are facing a global havoc today due to novel COVID-19. We all are in a shock of what is happening with us, and we are also shocked and disturbed to see what is happening with others. So our shock is resulting from both, from our own situations, personal situations, as well as the global situation we are witnessing in. However, during these 2 and more than 2 months, and if you talk about global situation, it's more than 5 months, we have seen some very disastrous things also, which is more negative than the impacts on our personal well-being, is negative interpersonal dynamics. And when I'm saying interpersonal, it is not only between two persons, also it is between intergroup as well as international dynamics. So yes, you are rightly perceiving it. I'm going to talk about the divide this pandemic situation have created between humans, between groups, and between nations. It's a tendency, human tendency, to protect our well-being in a situation of chaos. And in this chaos situation, when we try to protect our well-being, we try to differentiate ourselves from all those which may be a possible threat to our well-being. And this is a basic cause for the divide, basic root for the divide. So due to this pandemic, since we all are facing crisis and we have tried to protect our well-being, slowly, unknowingly, unconsciously, we have started creating the boundaries also. And these boundaries are slightly different from the boundaries we used to have. So yes, I'm talking about we have created new boundaries which are very different than the previous boundaries we had, previous us versus then we had. So we, on the personal level, we have created boundaries between us and all those who are not us, but who are somehow due to some reason are more exposed to this pandemic situation. So we have created a boundary between the people for us who are forced to sit inside our house, and we have created a difference between us and them, those who are working in the field due to possibly the nature of job or something, and that have been reflected in our behaviors, collective behavior, sometime to differentiate and to show aggressive behavior and sometimes throwing stones and all to our doctors, policemen, and all those people who have been working with corona patients. And this has not happened in India only. It is a global phenomena. It is not local. In every country, we are listening the news that people are on road and are against those who are trying to maintain the situation of lockdown. So in many states and many cities of US, people are on roads protesting against and are engaging in violent fight against the police personnel and lawmaking agencies. In Britain, people are doing the same thing, and in India, people have been doing the same thing. We have also divided ourselves from those who are more exposed to this situation. For example, the patients. We have started using stigmatized voices, and we have tried to make distance. So if we see or if we hear about a person being infected, we stigmatize the person and start using words like corona spreader. We forget at that time that that person who have been infected by the virus has not invented the virus. He is also a victim. He has acquired it from somewhere. So he is not the spreader, he is a victim. But in order to protect our well-being, in order to protect ourselves from this crisis situation, we stigmatize and you start using stigmatized language like corona spreaders, corona patients. We have created a distance. Initially, we created a distance. So this tendency has emerged as a global stigmatizing thought between the middle income group. Especially, I'm talking about Indian context. Initially, we tried to protect our well-being by creating a divide from higher income group and ourselves. And we started saying the corona has entered into the country by the upper socioeconomic group who were on holidays abroad and brought corona into the country. We created this divide. We forgot that all those who were abroad at that time were not on holidays. They were working, they were studying, they were on tour, they were earning for the country. But we conveniently made this divide, us versus them, saying that they were enjoying outside, they were enjoying abroad, and they brought corona inside. Then the focus shifted, and we found a group, a religious group who was engaged, though it was a wrong act to gather into masses, but it was not intentional. But we conveniently created this us versus them divide and started saying and started categorizing a particular religious group as corona spreader group. Then again, when the incidences of corona spread ended into that particular group, we then started this categorization with the lower income group and started saying all these low income people, especially mazdoors, daily earners, daily wagers, migrant people who are in different states of India, they are coming back to their home. Rather than sympathizing with them, rather than understanding their problem, the so-called middle income group India started stigmatizing them and started saying that these migrants are spreading corona into their villages and into their native states. So these kinds of experiences we have seen at personal level.
Okay, Dr. Tushar, 1 minute more.
Yes, you want to say something, Padmaraj?
Yeah, now 1 more minute to go from your
Okay.
time. Like,
Yeah. And then we also witness this on more global level, national level. When this spread went to Western countries to protect their identity, to protect their well-being, they started stigmatizing a section of the world. So first, President Trump called it a Wuhan virus. He stigmatized a city. When there was no dissent, no opposition, the Western media started enhancing it and they called it a Chinese virus. And then again, when there was no protest, they conveniently started saying it Asian virus. So this division is also visible on global level. We are seeing attempts to degrade the status of WHO, attempts to divide the world into or more parts. So all these things are happening due to and in the backdrop of Corona thing. It is not new. This is a psychological phenomena of this divide. But this time, this divide is happening at the time of global crisis when we should be together.
okay.
Now, how to help?
So time.
Just 1 minute, I will conclude.
Okay.
In ancient Hindu text Mahabharata, there is an incident when Yaksh asked Yudhishthir, what is the greatest wonder of the world? And Yudhishthir said, the greatest wonder of the world is we all see people dying and believe that we will not die. This statement is true now also. When we do this divide, we forget that this disease does not differentiate on the basis of caste, class, nation, origin. Once we are under this trap, we will be equally affected. So it is the time when we people should start taking things in right direction. Already my fellow colleagues have said connectedness is the key. Superordinate goal, we all psychology students have studied in bachelors. We have to create a superordinate goal, and it is a time of superordinate crisis when we all have to come together to work together to bring this divide. So the key is connectedness, taking it as a superordinate crisis, taking it as a challenge to the humanity, and working together. Unfortunately, psychologists have not picked it up. I must say that. When our Prime Minister started taking this initiative, and this initiative was taken around the globe also, lightening the lamp and drum beating, there were many explanations of some rage will come, some sound wave will come and destroy corona, but psychologists didn't spoke that it is an attempt, simple attempt to create a collective experience. It is simple effort to create a collective consciousness, and it is a simple effect to create connectedness among people, which will help us deal with the crises that have come to us, and it will give us strength to fight with this situation. So we the psychologists didn't spoke at all on these efforts, and that is possibly the reason these events could not have that impact which was intended. So with this small talk, I will end my lecture. I once again thank you all for organizing this wonderful thing, and I am listening from the beginning. Special mention to you, Padmraj, for well coordinated efforts and keeping track on time. Sorry, I eaten 1 or 2 minutes more, but I think I'll
Okay,
be
no
part.
problem.
Thank you all.
Oh, okay, thank you, Dr. Tushar, for your wonderful sharing. Yes, now world is dividing, and we have the same type of problem last 3 days ago. One patient is died, and until 3 days he stay in a home. No family member were going there. It's South Asian, some type of problem like that. Yes, now our next speaker, it's a Professor Dr. Samim ma'am from Sri Lanka, but unfortunately he is disconnecting many times over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the people live below the line of the poverty, and also our per capita income GDP is too low,
Yeah.
and most of the people are suffering from COVID. But I would like to say that then they are suffering starvation rather than the COVID. Those people, they are losing job, and those who are below the line of poverty, those who have the financially poor, those who are marginalized, then how can we assist them being as a psychologist or mental health professional, sir?
Yeah. Thank you, Gopilal, for bringing in this question. Basically, we as a psychologist have a greater role in this. Probably the value system which is developing now in global era has some error. And that is rightly said that this pandemic disease is not only a crisis, but it is an opportunity to reboot our ancient Indian or also ancient Asian values. We were the people of, remember that the collective is the key. Why people are coming, if I take example of India, why people are coming from multi metro cities to their homes, to their villages, and they are coming in masses, thousands and lakhs of people are coming to their villages. The reason is only one. They know that in their village they will not die of starvation. The community support is still there in the village. They will not die of hunger in their village because there is a sense of collective still remain, and the entire village will help and support a family. At least they will get food for them. They will get easy credit from their shopkeepers in their home, but that is not available in metros. So somehow these incidences are letting us know that the collective conscious which we are sacrificing in the name of globalization and westernization and modernization need to be rebooted too. We need to think in collective terms. I was reading an article in today's newspaper here in India that in a village people have made it sure that even if one person of the village is earning, the kitchen will work for the entire village. So even if a person is getting some job, the in Hindi it was said, "एक भी that nobody in their village will die of hunger." This feeling should be there, and we, the psychologists, have greater role in coming up with writings, with advocacy, with policy papers to help reform the education system, the value education system, and the government to pressurize the government to work on local bodies rather than creating jobs in multinational cities. Here I will again quote, and it is relevant in this situation. The quote I will quote Gandhiji and Schumacher, who advocated for small is beautiful. You would have read this sentence that was Schumacher's book, Small is Beautiful. He advocated based on Gandhian perspective that we should create jobs in villages. One bigger industry is of no use in such times of crisis rather than multiple small industries. Remember what we are saying today. Industry should work with 25% population, 50% population, 50% workforce. Imagine if we would have had thousand small scale industries, they would have worked on their full scale because they were small 6, 10 people would have been working, and it would have been easy to maintain physical distancing. So this small is beautiful concept need to be re-looked into and need to be bring in again. We, the psychologists, need to take up the role of an united entity, especially in Southeast Asia. The one audience rightly said, we need to work upon and make a collective association of psychology who is more responsible and more prompt in responding to such situation. In
Okay.
Southeast Asia, I don't see any psychology body having the strength to talk to and suggest to the government in any country,
And
not also in India. So that strength needed to be brought in. We are learning a lot from West, but we are not learning this, that psychologist in British Psychological Society has the power to instruct to the
correct.
government and suggest
Right.
to the government. APA has the power to suggest to the government, and it suggests many things. But in South Asian countries, we don't have such forum which instruct the government, which suggest the government what is good, what is bad, and what your policy should be. So we need to bring in all these issues if we want to really work on grassroots level. I
Okay.
hope I could
Yeah.
answer your query.
Thank you.
Thank,
Thank
thank,
you so
thank you
much,
so
Tushar.
much, Dr. Tushar. And thank you so much, Gopilal sir, for your queries. And now I would like to request our chief guest to deliver her remarks. Our chief guest, Aradhana Shukla, Professor Dr. Aradhana Shukla, ma'am.